This is Football Manager 2022. It's been a good few years since I put any significant length of time in a Football Manager game, but I'm a Newcastle fan in real life, and real life Newcastle have just stumbled across a load of money, and that's reflected in the game. So I thought I'd pick this one up and start a game with Newcastle. I've been playing for about I finished 4 seasons, so I thought I'd do a quick review now of how those 4 seasons have gone. So just for backup purposes, I've been saving a save at the end of each season, so I can load those. It's probably the easiest way to see what's been going on. So this is the end of season 1, and this is how we've done. So finished 6th in the league, which I was pretty happy with. Comfortably 6th in the end, so have some European football next season. Got off to a bad start, so after about, I don't know, not unlike the real Newcastle, after about a dozen games were in the relegation zone, but then got better and better and better as the season went on, and then finished up in 6th. I think this period was mainly getting used to tactics, I think. It's been a while since I've played a Football Manager game. I think they're all different. I was getting used to the different kind of things you can do and what suits the team, but then seemed to get the hang of it in the end. Most importantly, FA Cup winner, beating Liverpool in the final. So I might just quickly, I think we can probably, let's watch the goals of that final, just to relive Newcastle's first silverware for a long time, even if it is virtual. It was an interesting final as well. So Liverpool go 2-0 up, and then I changed the tactics to go far more attacking, pressed much higher up the field. That was a good goal. So that was a penalty. I think it was won by Almiron, I think, got fouled. He had a good game. This was a good goal. There we go. Over the keeper. And then the winning goal. There we go. That was at super fast speed, but you get the idea. The most satisfying thing about that game was after that winning goal, I changed the tactics, go more defensive, try and keep hold of possession. And there wasn't another highlight shown at any point, which was very satisfying. So that was a success. So as a result, so decent finish in the league, won a cup, fantastic. Didn't get anywhere in the League Cup. In terms of transfers, let's have a look. So a lot of these were ones that, I started this game after the January transfer update, so I started in about February time, I think. So these are some of the people that the real world Newcastle bought. So Chris Wood, Bruno Guimaraes, Kieran Trippier, Joe Willock was bought at the start of the season, Dan Burn and Matthew Target in on loan. So all those were transfers that were already in place. Then people I bought were Lacroix, a ball-playing defender, centre-back, for 25 million. Suso, who's a player as either an inside forward or an inverted winger. This was a young prospect. And then in January time, I think because the striker Wilson was injured quite a lot of the time, I picked up a striker, Vitinha. Also picked up Kessie, who's a kind of a hard-working, ball-winning midfielder. Chris Meffam, a young Welsh centre-back, and Ronnie Edwards is another kind of young prospect. So in terms of who was playing, let's have a look. Who was playing in tactics? So Oh yeah, Woodman is shown as having 47 appearances. That's because he was on loan, so ignore that. So Lacroix was the first choice centre-back. Bruno, I think I was playing as a deep-lying playmaker in Season 1. Sam Maxman was playing as an inside forward on the left. Joe Linton had a good season, 8 goals, 7 assists. I mean, Sam Maxman had a fantastic season, 14 goals and 10 assists in 32 appearances, absolutely brilliant. So Joe Linton, I think I was playing as... I think by the end of the season, I was playing him as an attacking midfielder. Trippier as a full-back, Dubravka first choice keeper, Dan Burn central defender. Longstaff had lots of appearances, which I'm quite surprised by. I think I'd say he was in the second team. Suzu on the right. I think I was normally playing target when he was fit. To the left, then who we've got left? So Kessie, here we go, a January purchase. Was playing as a ball-winning midfielder. And then a striker, so for the first half of the season it was Wilson, 14 appearances, and kind of a disappointing 5 goals. But then for the second half of the season, because he was bought in January, this Vitinha, 15 appearances and 13 goals, absolutely brilliant return. So he's first choice striker. In terms of tactics, I think this was the main tactic. So playing attacking fullbacks, Gamiresh as a deep-lying playmaker, Kessie as a ball-winning midfielder, Julinton centre midfield attack. Sam Maxman I'd have been playing most of the time as a inside forward. And then Suzo either as an inside winger on attack or an inside forward, and Vitinha is really good as a pressing forward. I think that's his best position. In terms of tactics, looking to play at a high tempo, attacking width, play into space, countering, and a high defensive line, higher line of engagement. This changes quite a bit in later seasons, which we'll see in a sec. But all in all, that was a successful first season. I think the one thing I wasn't quite happy with from memory is Gamiresh in this deep-lying playmaker role. So he played 34 games, no goals, 1 assist. So it didn't feel like that was quite working. So I think I look to fix that in either the next season or the season after. So let's have a quick look at Season 2. End of Season 2. Right, competitions. So finished 6th again, which was a bit disappointing. I think from memory, I was only 3 points off Champions League football. And I think I lost the last game. Yeah, I lost the last game. I think that was against it was against Arsenal. I was never really in the game. And had a kind of bad running. I think I was probably in 4th for quite a while. Can you see it here? Yeah, I was in 4th for quite a while and then finished the season in 6th. So that was a bit disappointing. But runner-up in the Europa League, which is great. First taste of Europe for a while. I think beaten by an English team, I think. Let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, beaten by Chelsea in the final. How did that go? Yeah, so Gillinton opened the scoring. I think we were the best team, the better team. Both had 5 shots on target, better expected goals. But I think they scored a couple of good goals. Let's have a quick watch. Yeah, Joe Linton was good at that. Headers in the box. Oh wow, there we go. Havertz. That's a goal worthy to win a Europa League. That's fine. I don't mind losing to goals like that. So 6th in the league, runner-up in the Europa League, rubbish in the FA Cup, knocked up by Liverpool, rubbish in the League Cup, knocked up by West Ham, and lost in the Community Shield. I think that was to Liverpool. I had a bad run against Liverpool. I beat them in the FA Cup final at the end of the previous season. And then, from memory, I lost 5-0 to them in the Community Shield, which was, not great. There might have been another big loss, or maybe that was the previous season. Yeah, there we go. Lost 5-0 to them in the Community Shield and 6-0 to them in the FA Cup. So they got their revenge for that comeback in the Cup final. In terms of players, let's see who is playing. A new keeper. Onana. I think we sold Dubravka, got something like a £30 million offer in for him. Lacroix still first choice centre back. Trippier. Vitinha still first choice striker. Although he didn't have quite a good a season. So 35 appearances, 16 goals. It's okay. It's not brilliant. Sam Axman had another fantastic season. 14 goals, 8 assists, playing as an inside forward. Gimirash, maybe we were still playing him as a deep line playmaker in season 2. Slightly better return, 3 assists, but still not that impressive from 32 appearances. Sousa's still on the right. Kessie is a ball-winning midfielder. Joe Linton had a good season. Centre midfield attack, 12 goals, 3 appearances. Sorry, 3 assists. Metham's now second choice centre back. And I tried to sign Matt Targett, but I don't think I could get him, or he was too expensive when his loan finished. So I got this young left back from Crystal Palace, I think. From Crystal Palace. And he had a decent season. I was kind of alternating Mitchell and Lewis. So in terms of tactics, let's have a look. So I changed it around a little bit. So I dropped these would have been attacking fullbacks in season 1. I dropped these to be support because I found we were getting hit on the break a lot down the wings. I've changed this from a deep lying playmaker to a defensive midfield support, and that seems to help him get in the game a bit more. Kessie's still a ball-winning midfielder. Joe Linton played sometimes as a advanced playmaker, sometimes as an attacking central midfielder. 2 attacking inside forwards. Changed Vitinha to an advanced forward. Probably changed that halfway through the season. He wasn't doing very well as a pressing forward. I think maybe a little bit better as an advanced forward. In terms of tactics, so still playing a higher tempo. I stopped passing it into space and didn't play quite as wide because I found we were just losing possession a lot, just lumping up the field. Not much changes here. Sometimes I use get stuck in. It didn't seem to lead to any more bookings or any more injuries as far as I could tell, so it seems worthwhile. So that was season 2. Well, let's have a quick look at transfers. So I say there's this massive transfer budget. It was probably over 100 million in season 1. It's 150 million by now. But I get the impression that the Newcastle in real life aren't going to splurge huge amounts on a single player. They're going to try and buy young players for 30 or 40 million and help them develop. And that's the sort of approach I've been taking as well. So I brought this goalkeeper in on a free, but he's a top class goalkeeper, so that's very good. He's a young prospect. Another young prospect. This guy was already in the youth team with an option to buy for 2 million, so I bought him because he's a homegrown player, which is quite handy. And then the two significant purchases. I bought Nico for 30 million from Barcelona, who is a midfielder, so could play as a defensive midfielder, deep line playmaker, maybe. And he's only 21, so hopefully will improve. And this guy, Nemanja Motika, from Red Star Belgrade. He's a kind of inside forward, inside inverted winger, wonder kid that I picked up from Red Star. Although I didn't realise at the time he didn't get a work permit. So what he's done, so I loaned him to AZ in Holland for about half a season, and that was enough to get him a work permit. So now he's back in the team. But it's possible he hasn't even played a game yet. That's when did I buy him? Oops. There's he gone. Yeah, there we go. Hasn't actually played a game. So I bought him in January. Didn't get a work permit, so I had to loan him out. And he hasn't played a game yet, so he'll be a good player next season. In terms of transfers out, any significant ones? Yeah, Dubravka sold to West Ham for 24 million. And then, I had issues with, so both Chris Wood and Callum Wilson got unhappy because they weren't playing enough, so I had to loan them both out. So that leaves me with a slight problem at the moment in the striker position, in that I've got Vitinha, who's pretty good, although he has had a poor season, but nobody really to compete with him, because this guy's just 20-year-old Mexican. He's not great yet. So that is probably one of the things I'd look to address in the transfer window. So let's have a look at season 3, see if I did. Okay, season 3. Let's see how it finished. 3rd place in the league, so Champions League football next year. So that was a fantastic result. Winner of the Europa League, another fantastic result. Didn't do much in the other 2 cups. So let's have a quick look at this Europa League final. See how that went. Oh, here we go. Just like the FA Cup final before, this is one where we went behind. So we went 1-0 up, then we're down 2-1 and had to come from behind and scored a couple of late goals. But dominated the match. Let's have a quick look at the highlights. Here we go, Sesko. This is the new striker I bought to try and give Vitinha some competition. And in the end, he probably became my first choice striker. That was a good goal. Oh, not a goal from a corner. Yep. Tap in at the back post. That's what Sesko can do. He's good in the air as well as on the ground. He's quick. Got everything. There we go. 3-2 victory. And a 10 match rating and a hat-trick for Sesko in a final. Well done. So in terms of, have a quick look at transfers. So I brought in Maffeo on a free. He's a right back, so he became my first choice right back. And Sesko for 14 million is now probably first choice striker. Brought in Kabak as another centre back. Louis is a young prospect. Brought in another right back, Kalulu, who is a young French right back. His second choice. He's a young prospect. Tellez I brought in on loan as a left back from Man United. And Amy is another young prospect. So I brought in 2 right backs and a left back there. I had a problem where, actually maybe we'll see it here, two players wanted to leave. So both Trippier and Trippier and Lewis both wanted to leave and had to sell them because they were concerned about playing time for some reason, which I never really understood because they were getting plenty of games. But I had to sell them, so I suddenly had to bring in a couple of, a right back and a left back. So who else went out? So I was still getting rid of some of the kind of the dead wood from the original squad. So Hayden, Manquillo, Chris Wood, Dan Byrne had a good few seasons, but sold him. Lewis got unsettled, so I had to sell. Same happened with Willock as well. I think he was getting upset that he was being played, so I had to loan him out. So then squad and tactics. Let's see who's playing the most. Oh yeah, so I definitely had an issue in this season with players getting concerned about playing time. Lacroix, he's played 48 games in the season and he's concerned about playing time, which is crazy. It feels like there's something, I don't know, an issue with the game there, I'd say. Onana's still first choice keeper. Gamirshaw's still playing as a defensive midfielder. And now Maffeo is the first choice right back. Oh, I bought Gavi as well. I didn't see Gavi in the transfers. Did I buy in the previous season? I must have bought Gavi in the previous season. So Gavi is another young midfielder from Barcelona. This time I'm playing him as this one as an advanced playmaker. And he seems to do alright in that role. He got 4 goals, 5 assists. It's okay. It's not bad. Kobak now is probably second choice centre back. Kessie's still first choice. I think I was playing might go probably on the right as an inverted winger. Still playing Mitchell as a left-sided defender. Sesko is now first choice striker, and Sir Maximum is still doing great things. Only 3 goals this season, but 11 assists. But Sesko, 31 appearances, 33 goals. Absolutely brilliant. Vitinha's not far behind, 26 appearances, 24 goals. They're both almost going at a goal a game. Well, he's going at more than a goal a game. Vitinha's going at slightly under a goal a game. So goals weren't a problem this season. What was a problem was keeping them both happy. Again, playing time problems. You can see they're both concerned, so I was getting slightly worried about that. In terms of tactics, Yeah, so I changed things up quite a bit. Well, quite a bit. Still playing a 4-3-3. Now moved to wing backs instead of full backs. Moved to an advanced playmaker with Gavi instead of a central attacking midfielder. And now playing generally Sam Maximum as an inside forward, and then I either Mike or Suzo as a inverted winger on support on the right. I've also changed this up a bit, so I dropped the tempo, dropped the width, dropped passing directness as well, just to try and keep a bit more possession, have a slower build-up, because I found I was just losing possession quite a lot. That's pretty similar. So I think this really made quite a big difference, lowering the tempo, lowering the passing directness, lowering the attacking width. That had quite a big difference. I think that's probably the main thing that got me into the Champions League spots, was those tweaks to the tactic. So that brings me on to the end of Season 4, which is as far as I've got. Let's have a look. So, end of Season 4, third again, so Champions League football next season. But this time a lot closer to the leaders, only 3 points behind second. And 5 points behind first. And that's with a couple of kind of poor results. So it could have been even closer. Did okay in the Champions League, got through the group relatively comfortably. In the end was knocked out in the quarter-final by City. Won the Super Cup. Didn't get far in the FA Cup. Didn't get far at all in the League Cup. But let's have a quick look at the Super Cup. It's kind of like a glorified friendly, I suppose, but still. It was against Liverpool, so I was happy to win it. Again, Sesko doing good things. Oh, lovely finish. Chipped over the keeper. And another good finish. Then they score from a header from a free kick. And then a penalty. So that was the Super Cup. So that was the only trophy that season. So in terms of transfers, not much going on. These are a couple of young prospects, but I bought Angelo, this Brazilian, in the January transfer window. He was 20-year-old Brazilian wonder kid. Looks pretty decent, has a higher potential, but he seems to have a great finish on him. So he wouldn't have played many games because I only bought him in January. 13 games, 10 goals, 3 assists, and then that's playing as generally an inverted winger on the support duty on the right hand side. So he's not playing as a striker, he's not playing as an inside forward, and he's still scoring loads of goals. So I have great hopes for him come the next season. So I didn't bring many players in because it didn't feel like there were many areas we wanted to improve. We had some young players, so I was hoping we're going to get better. A few outgoing, so Willock had been on loan, so sold him to Leeds. Matty Longstaff hadn't really been getting a game, so sold him. Ryan Fraser was basically starting to just get a bit old. He was still good, but I replaced him with Angelo, who seems to be even better. In terms of who was playing, Gavi got lots of games. mainly because he kept on complaining about playing time, so I had to play him. So it's still the same core of the team. Saint-Maximin, another good season, 8 goals, but 17 assists in the season. Vitinha actually playing more than Sesko. The reason for that is because they were both complaining about playing time, because I had 2 quality strikers but only 1 striker in my formation. So I've trained Vitinha so he can also play as an inside forward on the left to get him a few more games, and that seems to have worked. So Sesko is probably still first choice. 30 goals, 20 games. Compared to Vitinha, 32 goals, 25 games. Maybe not. They're both pretty good. Still playing Gmiresh as a defensive midfielder, and this is now probably a position where I need to look to improve in the transfer window. Metham is now first choice centre back to pair with Lacroix. Played Moitger a lot, but Angelo is definitely now first choice on that right wing. Oh yeah, Destiny Odogi. He was a relatively recent transfer. When to buy him? Yeah, he was bought this season for 33 million. He had must have been bought right at the tail end of the previous season. He had a release clause for teams that were in the Champions League, so I took advantage of that. And he's a decent player, with a bit more potential as well. Nice and quick, good attacking fullback. Who else are we missing? We're missing a right back, which would be Maffio is still first choice. There we go. So that's the first team. Tactics. Now using a box-to-box midfielder generally for Kessie. Well, what I tend to do is if the opposition has somebody in the attacking midfield position, I change this to a defend duty to try and keep an eye on them. If we're ahead or against a strong team, I might change this to maybe a defensive central midfielder just to try and get them to hold their position a bit more and break up attacks. But then this tends to stay the same, so still wing backs on support, normally an inverted winger over here. Sometimes a winger if the other team is playing a narrow formation. I could put Saint-Maximin over there as a winger. This is still lower tempo now, short passing, narrow width, counter attack, and a higher defensive line. Higher line of engagement, and that seems to be working well. But probably areas I need to improve are probably this defensive midfield role. I think is probably a priority for the next transfer window. So that's the end of season 4. That's as far as I've got, and I think it's going kind of not too bad. Won a couple of cups, European Cup and the FA Cup. Would love to get a bit closer to challenging for the league next season. So let's see how that goes. And that's the review of seasons 1 to 4.